All right, we're good. I think I'd say like I've simped at least like once in my life back in early high school days, just giving my all to something that I thought that I didn't think like I knew in the back of my head it was like not the best choice or not what I should have been doing at the time, but you know, you let your feelings override what you're doing. What up, Rev Master? I let my feelings get the best of me. You know, that's probably the only time I actually did that. And I could have just I chase and chase and chase, knowing that, you know, it obviously wasn't gonna work, and just giving my time and effort and all this stuff to a woman I knew like wasn't the word, you know, wasn't it. And like obviously it bit me in the butt, you know. It just feels like a waste of time in the end of the day. Like even now, like I'm in a situation where it's like from the outside looking in, you could say like, you know, like, oh, you're a simp and this and that, like you're what are you doing? But like it's not like nothing. I'm not gonna say it's not like nothing has come of it. I'll say that. Like nothing has you know, things have happened, but it's not now. It's in a way it's going backwards kind of, and it's like now it's like I don't know. Like I'm like you know, what do I do here? What's really going on? Type of situation, and so, you know, I feel like simping is a really serious like mental thing, because it's like it's all about like self-respect, like self-worth at the end of the day. It's kind of like dudes are out here, you know, buying OnlyFans and this and that when there's a bunch of free stuff on the internet. And like
well, to actually kind of to touch bases on that, I had this conversation like you said, like with dudes buying OnlyFans.
Just like,
say you have a girl, if you have a girl or it's free, people want what people want what they can't have. So if you have to pay for something, or let me clarify that. So people want what's not usually easily accessible. If I hold this piece of bread in front of you, and I'm like, here, you can have this, you can be like, nah, I don't want the bread. But if I put this bread in the next room and lock the door and say, do not go in there because I have this bread in there, do not eat the bread that is in there, do not go near it. Instinctively, you're gonna want to go eat that bread because it's something that you shouldn't have or something that wasn't as easy to get. So in terms of like simping, that is
with the YouTube link.
That's kind of building up like a I want to say it's a sense of, I don't want to say dependency, but you are picking up, so you're perceiving somebody's energy, you're perceiving the energy of someone or something, and that's making you want to act out and do certain things that you wouldn't normally do. So say there's this female who she might have approached you in a different way than any other female might have approached you. That doesn't mean that she likes you. She could have just complimented you that day, or or you could have just misinterpreted the energy that she was giving off. Right? And you're like, you know, like, damn, like I kind of like that. Like you're intrigued about that female, right? Now you become intrigued with that female, right? And you start chasing after her when she was never asking for that. She never desired to be sought out after, at least not by you. So now you're doing all these things, buying her stuff and stuff that she didn't ask for.
She's just accepting it, taking it, because she don't want to, for a multitude of reasons. She could be using you.
It's free stuff. It is what it is.
Exactly.
And there's certain people who
free stuff
succumb to the manipulation. There's certain people who are like, you know what, maybe if I just keep doing these things, keep leading him on, he's gonna keep buying me stuff. So they take that route. And there's certain people, and there are good-hearted people or wholesome people who just be like, you know, like, my fault, that's not what I wanted to happen, or, you know, like, that's not the page we're on. Majority of the time it doesn't go that way. There's certain people who are gonna take advantage of the situation and get as much of, they're gonna get as much out of the situation as they can, because they realize where this person's mind is at, when really they just built up some type of dependency, whatever it was, and they felt the need to spoil this person, or, you know, go above and beyond when that's never what was asked of them. And then they just put themselves in a spiraling hole. Because, and they're gonna feel, a lot of people feel stupid in the end, because they're like, man, you know, like, I invested so much time and money in this person. But what I say to people who feel like that, what's happening? But what I say to people like that in the end is, don't look at it like that. Don't look at it as you wasted all this time and energy. Look at it as you gave that person the best version of you, and they just didn't take the energy and do the right thing with it. There's people who will still appreciate the energy that you're giving out, the things that you're doing, but that was just not the right person. But that should let you know you're not working as hard as you are, and not doing the things that you are doing to pay another person's bills. With the exception, if that is your girl and you guys have made, a prior agreement to working something out, or that's just the type of relationship that you got, then that's cool to do. But find yourself and invest in yourself before giving your all to somebody who may or may not accept you.
Respect you. Yeah, it's tough because it's like I never want to dip into. I don't want to dip into that territory, but like it's getting like with my situation, it's like I told myself I would never it's like, but the thing is, it's like, I mean, yeah, we can tell ourselves over and over again like, oh, this is different this time. It's different this time. Like
I appreciated that.
Yes, sir, QT. Hit me up on Twitter. He won the giveaway. That's why. Oh, hit me up on Twitter. Let me know. Like it's kind of like a situation where like like we tell ourselves over and over again, this is how you try and rationalize what you're doing. It's like, oh, this is different this time. Like, oh, she ain't like that. It's different. Like, I swear. That's what I believe. Exactly. That's what you want to believe. However, though, comparing it to the other situation I was with, like nothing came out of that. Like nothing. I was just doing for nothing. This time it's like things have happened. Things have went so, and then but it's like come to a screech because like, whether this or that or how she's feeling or how, I still need to I need to explore that a little more. And once I have my answers, whatever, then I'm like, okay, then I need to go. Then I make that decision okay, it's time to
say, I don't want to say everybody, but I want to say pretty 99, a lot of us have had an experience like this. You've given your all to a person who did not deserve that from you. And like I said, in the end, that is okay because it's a learning experience. But I've had certain situations like that. But then here's another thing that I don't know what people believe to be toxic masculinity, I want to say is the word. And where I'm going with this is at least me, from being a young age, I've had older relatives, even my pops, I've had uncles, older cousins and stuff like that, and say, I better not ever see you cry.
Shut up, Rev.
They're like, I better not see you cry in front of a female, I better not see you do all these things. So not saying that part is the toxic part, but there's certain traits where, like I said, they said I better not see you cry in front of a female. So in my mind, don't display emotion in front of this female, or she's gonna perceive me as weak. But then I'm gonna come across like my girl, like, how come you never cry in front of me? How come you don't display certain things? And like, this is just how I've been taught since a young age. But I've also been taught, to realize when you're being a trick or when you're being a simp. But that's not making me exempt from that, because I have made, my own mistakes to learn from that. And, everybody's done some form of that at some point in their lifetime.
Manav, my guy.
Rev Master said the difference between being a gentleman and a simp.
Yeah, but so you know what though? A lot of the times that overlap. People think if you do anything, bro, if I hold the door, simp. Like if I hold the door open for one, simp. Like this, I'm like, bro. Like that's just the way I was brought up. Like I was brought up to do these things. Like, bro, like when when you get, it's just when you get raised a certain way, like you see certain things, like you're taught to do certain things, like, and that's, our mom taught us that, like, you gotta, put in the work, put in the every, be not, be like, you know what I mean? That's not, there is a line though. Like it comes a line where the gentleman, and then when it goes like a,
so at least, so from my personal experience, so, in my relationship, we're about to be going on 2 years, and from the very first day that I met my girl, I've always held the door open for her. Every time she gets in the car, any door, I always hold the door open, no matter how long it's been. I've even seen older men be like, multiple times I've heard them be like, man, like, you're lucky that my wife didn't see you, or else I'd be in trouble right now. So it's certain things like that. I realize that I have a solid female. That comes down to really just picking up on the other person's energy, just picking up on certain physical cues, certain, like body language. Like when you're communicating with somebody, it's more than just what they're saying, it's body language. So it's a lot of these other things that you could factor into, is this person really feeling me or not? So being the difference, so for the clear-cut answer, the difference between being a gentleman and being a simp is you holding the door open for a female and not expecting anything in return, that's being a good Samaritan. You just held the door open.
Common courtesy.
But you holding a door open for every female, expecting to get some play out of it, or just doing all these things, you feel me? Just being a sleaze, or just being kind to females just because you think it's gonna get you something, buying females something just because you think it's gonna get you something. That's what's gonna make you a simp. But if I go to the store, I see an old lady, I see just a woman or whoever it is. If I'm to hold the door open for this person, I'm not doing it because I'm expecting anything out of it.
Exactly. I want some of that PS5 money or what? I need me to
and it's not even that for me. Me and my girl, we got like old school type of love. I say like, and what I'm about to say, there's people who get upset about this, but they'll be like, you treating just your girl right doesn't make you, doesn't make you a good person. Well,
I mean,
I hold the door open for my girl. There's certain things like at this point in time right now, I'm not like ever. I've never been the type to give my energy to multiple people. I'm invested in this one situation.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna hold the door open for my girl. I'm gonna make sure she's straight. Like she reciprocates the same energy. I'm not gonna ask anything of you that I will not do myself. For her, she'll be like, oh, I thought of you today, so I bought you this. Or like, she's thinking about starting some money or a little business or whatever it is. I'm like, here's some money to get you started, whatever it is. But the energy is being reciprocated. It's not an empty, what is it? It's not like an empty,
a dead end.
It's not the action, but the action is, and I don't do anything for her because I expect anything back. I do it out of the kindness of my heart. Mm-hmm. That's the difference between being a gentleman. You do the acts that you do just out of just being a genuine individual. It doesn't have to do anything with being a simp.
Exactly.
So that's
like I've sort of like tried to be the same way, even before like I always say like, look, I'm a girl will know, like a woman will know, like if I like her. Like I'm not gonna hide that. I show that. Like I treat a girl like my girl before I'm even with her. Like if we're already talking, we're in that state, like I'm gonna show you, like, I'll show you what's up. And if you ain't, and if I'm not,
you can't perceive
exactly. If you can't, you know what I mean? Click through the comment. Oh, okay, bet.
To kind of touch on, so while he's doing that, to kind of touch on it, so it's certain things that I only do for my girl. Like me, people look at me and be like, oh, you look like a mean individual. I can't keep that, that savage mode up with my girl. So at this point in time, me personally, of course, if I see an older person, whatever it is, I'm not going out my way for another female that's not my girl. Point blank, period. So that's the one thing that people might get upset about. Well, you just treating one female good doesn't make you, you feel me, a good person. But like I said, I just don't give my energy to multiple people. And I'm gonna be the most upstanding citizen, regardless. I can still be upstanding citizen without, you feel me, like without giving my energy to other females or whatever it is. You can still be a good person. There's
Andy, my boy. Yeah, we're talking about simps.
That was actually a great question, because it's like that was like there's like a thin line. There's kind of like a thin line in between the two. He said, like, asking what's the difference between a gentleman and a simp. Like that was a really great
I know.
question.
Look at Rev. Shout out to Rev. We're getting spicy.
Hey, in the end of the day, though, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. What I say is, I have no power over any other human being to judge another person's way of life. What you perceive to be a simp or a gentleman might be a little bit different from what I perceive. But in the end of the day, as long as you, all you can really do is maintain to be the best version of you. So if people, you feel me, aren't feeling the best version of you, it is what it is, because that's you in the end of the day.